and the crops were destroyed, again, you find that it was the cow's milk that sustained so many villages, so many children, so many parents. Vedically, even from the Ayurvedic point of view, the cow's milk is complete. You don't need to take anything else. It is complete. For those of you who've had the good chance, of actually drinking cow's milk fresh from the cow, you'll also realize that it has its own natural sweetness actually. Every time I go to Dwarka, there is this cowherd that takes care of cows in our Goshala. And the first thing he does in the morning, is to give us this fresh amount of milk from the cows after the cow has fed the calf. And that milk becomes even more sweetened because the cow has given so much love for its calf. If you take the cow's milk without giving the milk first to the calves, the milk tastes very different. It tastes actually bland. But if you take cow's milk after you have taken it from after the calf has fed, there's a distinct difference. The first time I drank it, I thought someone had sweetened it. That's how sweet it is, but it's natural sweetness. And it's warm. You don't have to heat it. It's warm because it's just coming from the udders of the cow, you see. And cows, people think that they're not intelligent, but they're very intelligent animals. I remember in Gujarat, my godbrothers were milking cows in the morning. And every morning my spiritual master would tell them, when you're milking the cow, the trick is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because when the cows hear Krishna's names, they become very happy, right? They become very happy because Krishna is the protector of the cows. And every cow is eternally connected to Krishna. We may not realize it, but the cows are eternally connected to Krishna. So my spiritual master would tell them, you keep chanting, you talk to the cows, keep talking to them and they'll feel very happy because you need to have a conversation. They're very intelligent animals. Then I remember one morning, one of my godbrothers, he was milking the cow and he got kicked. And he actually fell back because if you have ever been kicked by a cow, hopefully you have not, you realize that it packs quite a punch. It's very powerful kick. And so later they came, my spiritual master heard about it and he called them and asked them, what happened? Why did the cow kick you? Normally cow is very sadhu. You must have said something to it, and that's why it was like that. So they said, no Maharaj, we chanted, we spoke to the cow. Then Maharaj asked the devotee, he said, what language did you speak to the cow in? And the boy, was from Maharashtra, but he came to Gujarat. He said, I spoke in Marathi to the cow. And Maharaj said, big mistake, this cow is Gujarati. You should speak in Gujarati to the cow, then the cow will be very happy. So actually cows are very intelligent. They're very intelligent. Why? Because they're very precious to Krishna. Anything that becomes valuable to Krishna, all auspiciousness is on that thing. But anything that we think is valuable, but is not connected to Krishna, it only drags us into the material modes of nature. This is a shloka from Bhagavatam, 2.9, 34, 35 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Rite ritam yat pratiyeta, na pratiyeta chatmani. Tad vidvan atmano mayam, yatha baso yatha tamaha. This is one of the 4 Chatur shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. Very important verse. And there, Krishna declares to Brahma an important concept that we must take back with us today. He says that anything in this world that appears valuable, and there are many things that are valuable in this world, money, assets, they're all considered valuable. But if they have no relation or no connection to Krishna, then instead of being valuable to us, they will drag us into this material mode of existence. They will implicate us in karma. But if something that appears not very valuable in this world, but it is used in the service of Krishna, that thing actually has the capacity to free us from this material world. It's a very important science that we mustn't forget. So we should be very discerning about what we have. Is what we have being used in the service of Krishna? If it is, it frees us from the cycle of samsara chakra. If it is not used for Krishna, it will implicate us back to this world again. It's a very simple thing. There's no gray area here. It's black and it's white. So we should live our life in such a way that we should very carefully examine our activities. Are the activities that we do, are they performed in such a way that they are dovetailed towards the pleasure of Krishna? Or are they dovetailed towards our sense pleasure? Most of us have some activity which is primary for the day. Most of us are working. Even if we are not working, we may be homemakers, but that's also work. That's also work. But how we utilize that work and in what consciousness we are working, that determines the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. So two persons can be sitting on the same desk opposite each other. One could be giving all the fruits of his actions to Krishna, and he is completely liberated from his work. But the other person could be doing the same work, but that activity could be dragging him into the cycle of birth and death because he wants all the fruits of it for himself or herself. You see? Same activity, same place, same time, same motivations, so to speak, because you're working for something, but consciousness is different. Consciousness is different. So please, this is how we examine our lives, and this is what it means to be a devotee. One of the greatest examples of this personality is actually Mother Yashoda, and that's the reason why we're here today, because today is another day in Damodar month. Damodar month is coming to an end. On the 8th of November, Damodar month ends. It's the last day of Kartik. And every day, devotees remember the beautiful pastime of Mother Yashoda and Damodar, and we light lamps for the pleasure of their Lordship, which I think we'll be lighting later, right, Mata? You've got the lamps ready, yeah? Very good. So Mother Yashoda woke up on the morning of Diwali, and when she woke up, the only thought she had when she woke up was actually how she could serve Krishna. And this is a very important principle. When we are devotees, you will find that we live in such a way that when we wake up in the morning, our thoughts are filled with what we should do for Krishna. We start the day with Krishna, we end the day with Krishna. So that's a very important point. Now Mother Yashoda woke up and she dressed herself very nicely. But Bhagavatam says she didn't dress herself for sense gratification or for inviting visitors to the house. That's what normally happens on Diwali day. We eat, we drink, and we are merry. But on Diwali day in Vrindavan, it was very different. Mother Yashoda took the churning rod and started churning butter for Krishna. Why? Because the most important connection to Krishna is on the platform of service. This is another principle of devotional service. For many people in Hindu culture, the word bhakti means devotion. But actually, when you study the Shastras, the word bhakti means devotional service. There is an element of service to devotion. If you say, I'm very devoted to you, but you don't act on it, then it is just what we call speculation. Just like we always say, if you keep telling your husband, the wife and husband keep telling each other, I love you very much, I care for you, but you don't act on it. You don't do anything. If someone comes home very tired, and you stand at the door and they're carrying so many things, and you say, oh, I love you very much. Carry something at least, help me at least. That is the expression of your love, isn't it? So that is what you say bhakti, but it doesn't transform into service. So it's not bhakti actually. Until devotion turns into service, until you have that service platform, you cannot actually make bhakti into something dynamic. That's very important. Otherwise, half the world will say, why should I go and sit down and listen to Krishna Katha? Monica Mataji would have called all of you, and you all would have said, Krishna is in my heart, why do I have to come to your house? He's in my heart, I don't need to come. Of course, if she says there's prasadam, you will come. But if not, you will say, why should I come? I don't have to come, Krishna is in my heart. That is what we call Sahajya mentality. The Sahajya mentality makes you think that you know God. It makes you think that you're very, very intimate with God. In Vrindavan, you have this Sahajya mentality which has actually tainted the spirit of real bhakti. You have people who dress up like gopis and who dance in Ras Leela, but actually their hearts are filled with lust. They are not filled with devotion. So we have to be very, very careful when we define what is bhakti. Bhakti is not a sentimental feeling, oh, I love this, I love this. No, Krishna is not interested in that. Krishna is interested in what you are doing. So Mother Yashoda started the day by doing something for Krishna. She churned butter for him. And in doing so, she became free of all material contaminations. She was always free. But by serving Krishna, she always maintained her freedom. And as she was chanting, she was churning. As she was churning, she was chanting. That is the greatness of devotional activity. The most practical activity you can do while you do anything in this world, whether you're working at home, whether you're in the office, is continuously chant Krishna's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. The more you chant Krishna's names, the more you're connected to Krishna. So Mother Yashoda was laboring under the churning of the butter. Not easy to churn butter. But she was feeling very happy and very blissful. She didn't feel anything. Why? Because her mind was completely absorbed in remembering the names of Krishna. That's why when we chanted for just 5-10 minutes, did you realize how different the atmosphere becomes when you chant? It becomes completely spiritual because the names are very powerful. So Mother Yashoda is teaching us that the most highest way to serve Krishna is by simple activities. Don't have to complicate your activities. Don't have to do something grandiose. She just churned butter for Krishna, but she was absorbed. It was much better than planning something very big and becoming caught up by pride. Mother Yashoda had no pride. She wanted to churn butter for Krishna because Krishna was stealing butter from her neighbors. And they were complaining, and she was thinking how to stop this boy from stealing butter. Not a good thing to steal. So she thought that if I continued making the best butter, I will definitely keep Krishna satisfied. And Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj had 9 lakhs of cows. That's a lot of cows, by the way. That's a lot of cows. And from that 9 lakhs of cows, they got the best of the cows. And from that best of the cows who fed the best of the grass, they got the best of milk. And from that milk, they got the best of butter. But even then, Krishna was going to other people's houses to steal butter. So Mother Yashoda was worried, and she thought, better on Diwali day, I make the best butter so that this boy doesn't go anywhere else. So even though she was dressed so nicely, Bhagavatam tells us she continued churning. But as she was churning, she was very happy. And then Krishna, who was sleeping in the room, came out. And he was very young. And he went to Mother Yashoda and told her to please stop churning. No need to churn now. Why? Because the object of your churning is in front of you. This is very important. Sometimes we perform an activity which is devotional, but we forget the object of the devotional activity. The Brahmanas in Vrindavan, they were performing all kinds of sacrifices, yajnas. But because they were so much afraid of Kamsa, when Krishna and Balaram actually came and asked them, please give us the food, the fruits, the offerings of the yajna, they said, no, we can't give it to you. But what was the purpose of yajna? The purpose of yajna is to feed Krishna. Yajnapati. Yajnapati means he is the one who receives the offerings. Yet when he turned up in front of them, they could not recognize him as the object of their sacrifice. Mother Yashoda could recognize because of her purity. So when he came and said, stop churning, he didn't say it, he indicated. Then he indicated that he wanted to be fed her milk. So what did she do? She put Krishna on her lap and she started feeding him. And when she fed him to her heart's content, while she was feeding him, the pot of milk that she had put on the stove, in the kitchen, it was threatening to boil. Now Mother Yashoda was caught in a catch-22 situation. If I go and save the milk, it will be for Krishna. That's very good. However, Krishna will be put down and he hasn't fully fed. And mothers of babies will know when a baby is not fully fed, the baby becomes not very happy. Right? Pamaradhika Mataji is shaking her head. Yes. They won't become very happy. They will throw a tantrum. Right? And tantrum of the babies is quite a tantrum. Quite a tantrum. So she thought, never mind. I'll put Krishna down and I'll take my chance. So she quickly ran inside to take care of the milk. But while she was doing that, Krishna decided that I am, quite upset. Now you may think, how can God be upset? Why should God be upset? But you must remember, in Vrindavan, Krishna was playing the part of a child. So a perfect child doesn't just sit down and go into Yoga Nidra. A perfect child gets upset when he or she is not fed. So Krishna played the perfect part of a child. Just like with Arjuna, he played the perfect part of a friend. He was always a friend to Arjuna. Do you know, in Bhagavatam it is said, if Arjuna could share anything a friend could share with Krishna. If Arjuna saw a beautiful princess passing by and he was on a chariot with Krishna, he would say, Krishna, what do you think of her? We wouldn't dare to tell that to Krishna, isn't it? We wouldn't. We'll probably go to some Devata and say, oh Devata, please give me this child or this wife or this one. But we would never turn to Krishna. But he did everything with Krishna because Krishna was the perfect friend. And Krishna would say, yes, I think this girl is very suitable for you. See? So whatever part that you have a relationship with Krishna, he plays it perfectly. And so he became very upset. And he decided, I must teach Mother Yashoda a lesson today. Sometimes I think our children teach us lessons, Even though they don't articulate it, I think they teach us lessons. So he took a stone and he broke the pot she was so meticulously churning butter in. and all the butter that was churned came out. And of course, Krishna became very happy. Have you seen it? When children do something naughty, first, right, they will enjoy it. Then they realize I'm in trouble. That's why they're children, right? Adults normally, after we do something wrong, we realize it's wrong. But children take a bit longer. But Krishna loved butter. So he took the butter and he was very happy. Then he realized that now Mother Yashoda is going to come out. She's going to be very upset with me. So he decided, better I run away before Mother sees me. And so Krishna very intelligently ran away after eating butter. But as he ran away, the footsteps of his was engraved, in all the butter. So it was not difficult for Mother Yashoda, who came out of the kitchen and who looked at all the terrible mess that was there and who realized that her beloved Krishna was not there. It was not difficult for her to know what had happened. Was she angry? Bhagavatam says no. She was smiling and she told herself, this boy of mine is very intelligent. When you are blinded by love for your child, right? For the other person, your child is naughty number one. But for you, the child is wonderful. Have you noticed that? Parents are like that, right? Sometimes we feel like, why is the child this way? But for the parents, this is very, very nice. It's my child. So Mother Yashoda was so much in love with Krishna that she thought he's very intelligent. He's run away. He didn't stay around. And so she thought, but today, I have to suspend my love for him. I must teach him something. I must teach him to become disciplined. Why? Because he will grow up to be a thief. And then I will be responsible for it. So she took a stick. And she took that stick and she thought, I'll go inside and I'll threaten him with the stick. I won't actually discipline him with the stick, but I'll threaten him with the stick. So she walked inside. And she came inside a storeroom with a very high ceiling. And on that ceiling, there were hanging many, many pots of butter, similar to the one that she was actually doing. And what happened? Bhagavatam said she saw an amazing sight. Because she saw that Krishna had turned the mortar, which was, horizontal, and he had put it up, vertical. He was standing on it, barely on his tiptoe, and he was trying to smash the pots of milk. And he was doing it quite well. And as he broke the pots, butter was flowing. And as the butter flowed, Mother Yashoda, to astonishment, saw that Krishna was not just eating butter alone. He was actually feeding butter to all his good friends. Who were the good friends of Krishna? The monkeys, yes. Children normally know monkeys very well. And monkeys also know children very well. I think there's some similarity between them, right? What do you think? I think there is. So Mother Yashoda looked at this beautiful sight. Krishna was distributing prasadam to all the monkeys. In ISKCON, we say this is the first historical evidence of prasadam distribution, right? This is the first, Krishna is the person who started prasadam distribution. And he started it with the monkeys. And he was feeding them so lovingly. And the monkeys were eating so lovingly. Bhagavatam and Shastras actually tell us, our acharyas tell us, that this scene this exchange between the monkeys and Krishna was not superficial. In Treta Yuga, Krishna was Lord Ram. And these monkeys were the Vanaras. And they served Lord Ram so nicely that after that battle to win Lanka and kill Ravana was done, Hanumanji, Sugriva, Angada and all the Vanaras, they fell at the feet of Lord Ram. And Lord Ram asked them, whatever that you want, I will give you because you have served me so well. Ask what you want. And they said that the only thing we want from you, Lord Ram, is that when you come back again, when you descend into this world again, we pray that we come back again to serve you. This is the prayer of a devotee. A devotee doesn't pray for material things. Material things come on their own, Prabhus and Matajis. They come. Tasyeva heto prayateta kovido na labhyate yad brahmata uparyadha talabhyate dukkavadan yatha sukham kale na sarvatra gabira rauhasa. Narada Muni sings this beautiful shloka to Vyasadeva in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is in 1.5, 18. And in that shloka, very nicely, he tells a very important concept to Vyasa Bhagavan. He tells him, Vyasadeva, please know that those who are intelligent in this world, they do not endeavor for that which is automatically obtained. What is automatically obtained in this world? The results of your karmas. Your karmas, you will automatically get them. Whatever that you are doing today, materially, you will reap it later. You don't have to worry, it will just come. So if you've done good things, they are going to come. But if you've not done good things, they are also going to come. So Narada says, devotees do not run after good and bad because they are both part of karma. We are just running after Krishna because to run after Krishna is to free ourselves from this material world. Some people want to come back to the material world to enjoy their punya. But they don't realize the moment they come back to enjoy their punya, the moment the punya finishes, in the course of enjoying, they will create not always good punya. They will create what we call not good karma. And that not good karma will bring miseries. So it is stated in the shloka, if you're really intelligent, don't run after that which is automatically obtained in this world. Happiness will come on its own. And Narada Muni says, even if you don't run for the miseries are running after you. Have you not noticed that? Nobody in their right mind is running for misery. But every day there is a moment of misery or a moment of anxiety. At some point you'll be caught by some anxiety. Something at the back of your mind, some niggling thing that you forgot to do, some call that you dread, some person you don't want to talk to, something will come up that will always cause some misery. You don't want to run after them, but they are running after you. This is a very important principle we forget in this world. So therefore, Mother Yashoda, right? The Vanaras, they did not pray for wealth. They did not pray for, good CPF. They did not pray for bank account. They didn't want all this. They only wanted, again, Krishna, Lord Ram, you come back, we will serve you. That's all. And so Lord Ram, who promised them then in Treta Yuga, delivered that promise when he came in Dwapara Yuga as Krishna. So Krishna never forgets anything that a devotee prays to him for. He never forgets. Never. Especially if you ask for bhakti. Krishna will never forget bhakti. So if you ask for bhakti, you can be assured that Krishna will give it to you. The only problem is we don't endeavor for bhakti. Very often bhakti is a sentiment. We don't act on it. But the Vanaras acted on it. And therefore in this life, Krishna gave them a chance not to come as servants like in Ram Leela, but to come as very intimate, close friends, the monkeys, who could play with him, he could pull their tails and they could pull his dhoti. Nobody could do that to Krishna except the monkeys and the gopas. Nobody could do that. So how much love Krishna reciprocates when you reciprocate with him. Ye yata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. To the extent that you surrender to Krishna, to that extent he surrenders to you. And that's what Krishna did with the Vanaras. So Mother Yashoda was watching this sight, but she didn't understand the significance. Only Krishna knew it. But in this life, Krishna was so kind that he didn't allow the monkeys to actually serve him. He served them. He didn't allow it because he felt so much of gratitude and he felt so indebted to them that he thought, in this Leela, let me serve them for a change. This is the mood of Krishna. And so Mother Yashoda walked in. The monkeys saw Mother Yashoda and they decided, enough of food distribution. Now it's time for us to leave. Why? Because Mother had stick and no monkey likes a stick. And therefore when the monkeys ran off, Krishna's back was to the door. He knew now why everybody had run off. It must be because of his mother. So he turned and saw his beloved mother. Krishna loved his mother, but he doesn't love the stick. When he saw that stick, he thought, now Mother is very upset with me. It's time for me to run. And Krishna jumped off the motor and started running. Mother Yashoda started running after Krishna. And he ran and ran and ran, and she thought, very easy to catch him. How difficult it is. You all have caught your children, isn't it? For a while they look far, but you'll catch something about them and drag them back. So she was almost going to catch his yellow saffron dhoti when he was half a meter ahead. Almost about to catch him by his hand, half a meter ahead. And she became very tired that Diwali morning. She thought, Krishna, I'm running and running after you, but I cannot catch you. This is not surprising, because Bhagavatam tells us yogis are running after Krishna, but they cannot catch him. Rishis are running after Krishna, but they cannot realize him. Munis are speculating about Krishna, but they are befuddled by him. Demons like Kala Yavana, very famous demon, he came to Dwarka because he issued a challenge to Krishna to come out and fight with me. Krishna came out in a four-handed form of Vishnu. Suddenly he dropped everything and started walking away. This is the famous Rancho Rai pastime, And as he walked, Kala Yavana laughed at Krishna. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a coward. Let me run after you. The demons think that they can just catch Krishna by their material prowess. And so he thought he would grab Krishna and crush Krishna. But every time he tried, Krishna was half a mile away. Krishna was 1 mile away. At least with Mother Yashoda, it was half a meter away. With Kali Avana, it was miles away. Made him work much harder. And when he entered a cave, Krishna entered a cave, Kali Avana thought, aha, I'm stronger in the cave than Krishna because I'm a demon. My powers in the dark are powerful. And so what did he do? He entered and he looked around for Krishna. And he saw a figure lying down with this kind of white cloth over him, And he thought, what a coward Krishna is. Runs away from me, then hides under a blanket, just hoping that I will go away. He went up to the figure and he kicked the figure very hard. And when he kicked the figure that hard, a figure that got up was not Krishna. It was the powerful Rajarishi known as Muchukunda. Very powerful. He was a great favorite of the Devatas and had helped them in many battles. His boon after the victories was that he would sleep. But when his sleep was interrupted and when he woke up, he prayed to the Devatas that he would see Krishna. So when he woke up and didn't see Krishna, but he saw the demon, he got quite upset. And because of his yogic power, he just chanted one syllable. And that was the end of Muchukunda, or that was the end of Kali Avana. He just became ashes. So this shows us one very important point. If you're demonic or you have even a little bit of ill motivation, you cannot catch Krishna. You can't catch Krishna. Mother Yashoda is very different. Mother Yashoda was catching Krishna out of love. And how did she catch Krishna finally? Not by thinking, I will catch Krishna. When she finally surrendered to Krishna in her heart, Krishna, I can't catch you. I'm surrendered. I'm helpless. That's sincere, submissive surrender. 3 S's, very easy to remember. Sincere, submissive surrender. The moment she did all 3, Bhagavatam tells us Krishna agreed to be caught. He agreed to be caught. And once he was caught, not only did he get caught, but he exhibited fear. There is no pastime in Krishna Leela except this pastime where Krishna exhibits fear. There is no other pastime. No pastime. The Acharyas declare only in this pastime Krishna exhibited fear. In all other pastime, all the demons are fearful of Krishna. Right? And Krishna is fearful of no one. Sometimes he's worried about Radharani, but he's never fearful of anyone. But he was fearful of Mother Yashoda. His tears were running the mascara that mother had put for him in the morning. All the nice makeup, all going because of tears. His beautiful sharp-shaped earrings, they were shaking and shaking because he was trembling in fear. When Mother Yashoda saw that sight, and you can see the beautiful murti form here. When Mother Yashoda saw that sight, her heart melted. She thought, no. I hate to see Krishna looking so fearful. I rather him being mischievous, that's fine. Steal all the butter you want, but don't look fearful. And she thought the cause of the fear is my stick. So she decided to put her stick down. And when she put the stick down, she thought, now I hope Krishna will be pacified. But she realized that Krishna cannot keep still. Have you noticed one thing about children? They can't keep still. Mataji's laughing. Isn't it, Mataji? Malini can't keep still, right? No matter what you do, she can't. Shyam Sundar, he's a yogi at the moment, man. He's Mahayogi. He's just there, But who can keep still for too long? I need to wind down before everybody starts moving. Forget children. Even adults cannot keep still. As a person looking at you, I realize how much movement you all are having actually. So much of movement is going on, but we don't realize. The toes are moving, the hand is moving, the head is moving, everything is moving. Sometimes surreptitiously we are looking at the clock and just thinking, okay, when is this going to end? Everybody is moving. And just like you are seeing, I'm seeing you, you must be watching how much I'm moving also. Nobody can keep still. But she thought on Diwali day, he needs to be tied up. So she took ropes. She took ropes and she decided, let me tie him up. Children, any one of you have been tied up by your parents? I notice they quickly look at their parents immediately. As if they're saying, can I say it? It's okay, you can come and tell me later. Madhavi? No? You won't say anything? Okay, fine. Never mind. Shyam Sundar, you can't tie. That's impossible. I remember I was at a program that day, and the child later came and told me, Prabhu, my mother never tied me, but she locked me up. I said, okay, fine. That's the modern version of tying, never mind. So Mother Yashoda took the ropes and she brought it around Krishna. Now Krishna was not a very plump baby, right? He wasn't like, very big. He was a bit tiny, but he had a little bit of belly. All children have that. So it wasn't difficult for the ropes to come. However, when she brought the ropes in front of him, they were 2 fingers short. And she went to get more ropes. She put them all together. It was still 2 fingers short. She got all the ropes in the house and it was still 2 fingers short. Now the other gopis, her other friends, they started hearing. You know how news travels in Vrindavan, right? Very fast. Forget Vrindavan. Even in our community, news travels very fast, right? Pick up the phone. Hey, did you see that person? Oh, this person didn't come. Did you see his face? He wasn't happy. We always talk like that. So in Bhagavatam, in Vrindavan, the object of gossip is Krishna. But because it is Krishna, the gossip is not bad. It is transcendental. But in the material world, gossip is very bad because it drags us into the material Maya. So all the devotees, they all heard about Krishna. They walked in. They even offered Yashoda Maya, take more rope, try to tie Krishna. They were thinking, whatever that happens with Krishna is always amazing. So she tried and tried and tried. Mother Yashoda was perspiring, right? Before that, she was running and she was perspiring. She had made herself up to look very nice on Diwali day. But she was like a laborer. She was just running and chasing and trying to tie. And for the second time in the day, she surrendered to Krishna. And she said, Krishna, I don't know what to do with you, but I need to keep you still for a while. Please help me. And when she surrendered to the Lord, right, the Lord's heart melted. And he decided, let me be bound by my mother. Aham bhakta paradino hi aswatantra hi vadvija sadhu bi grista hriddayo bhakta bhakta janapriyaha. It is stated in Bhagavatam that Krishna tells to Durvasa Muni that even though my nature is I am Swarat, actually I am not Swarat when it comes to my devotees. I am not independent. I am completely dependent on my devotees. Where my devotees go, I will follow them. Right? It is stated, Anuvrajami aham. I will follow my devotees wherever they go. Why? Because my devotees have that wonderful qualities that attract me. That's why I follow my devotees. Nirapeksha munim shantam nirvaira samadarshanam. These are the qualities that Krishna follows. In Bhagavatam, in this shloka, it is very nicely stated that if you have these qualities, right? Anuvrajami aham. Puyeyeti angri renubihi. Krishna follows the devotees who have these qualities. Why? Because he wants to take the dust from their lotus feet and put it on his head. Can you imagine that? Krishna wants to do that. And what are these qualities? Nirapeksham. Nirapeksham means they don't have any other desire except to serve Krishna. Nira apeksha. There is no desire except to serve Krishna. Nirapeksham. Munim. Munim means they are always looking to find the way somehow or another to be focused on Krishna. That is what they want. And because they want to always serve Krishna without any desire, they are shantam. Nirapeksham munim shantam. They are very equipoised. Nirvaira. Nirvaira means they have no envy in their hearts. Doesn't matter if someone can serve Krishna better. If someone can sing better for Krishna, we will serve them. That is the mood of the devotees in Vrindavan. In outside of Vrindavan, in this material world, it is very different. If someone can do something very nicely, I become envious of that person. I will not serve that person. I'll find some fault in that person. But in Vrindavan, if one gopi could tie a beautiful garland for Krishna, all the other gopis will serve her and glorify her. If a cuckoo bird can sing very beautifully, all the other birds will stop singing and they will hear the cuckoo bird. They will not compete. That is the mood in Vrindavan. That mood we must bring into our lives. That is the mood we must bring to our lives. Nirapeksham munim shantam nirvaira samadarshanam. Because of all these qualities, a devotee is samadarshana. He is always very simple, very equal and very equipoised. Now, if you have these qualities, Krishna says, I will follow you. And that's why even though Mother Yashoda was following Krishna, running after him, when she finally surrendered to him, Krishna surrendered to her. He surrendered to her. And he said, let me be bound by my mother. And so Mother Yashoda bound Krishna not with ropes, but with her bhakti. with her devotion and her service, which means with her devotional service. Don't forget the service component, devotional service. And so she went inside because she was very happy, my boy is now going to be still. But Krishna cannot keep still. Who can keep Krishna still? Maybe for a while. After that, you cannot keep Krishna still. And Krishna decided, I have one more Leela for this morning, all happening in the morning. And he said, let me start crawl to the end of the garden. And there are two big trees known as Yamal Arjuna trees. I will walk between them. I will crawl between them. Why? Krishna had a design. Krishna always has a plan. And Krishna started crawling. The motor that was vertical turned horizontal. And he started rolling and rolling and rolling with him. And as he went down between the trees, he went through. But the motor got stuck between the two trees. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He may look like a boy, but he's very strong. One slight push and both the trees just collapsed. And in place of the trees were two beautiful devatas. Beautiful devatas. And Krishna asked, why are you here and who are you? And they said, we are the sons of Kuber, the superintendent of wealth. Our names are Manigriva and Nala Kuvera. Many thousands of years ago, we were so intoxicated with our wealth and our power that we were drinking and enjoying life without thinking of the purpose of life. And one day, we were seated in the lake, spotting away without any clothes on, when suddenly Narada Muni came. And we came out of the lake with no clothes to receive such an exalted personality. And when Narada saw us, he cursed us. He said, since you don't like to wear clothes, better you become trees. Because nobody dresses trees up, isn't it? Trees don't wear anything. They can go around with nothing. And since your consciousness is so dull, better you also become trees. When Narada said that, the two boys, despite them being totally intoxicated, some fog of, reasonableness came to their head. And they said, Narada, please don't curse us that way. Somehow deliver us. And Narada said, the purpose of my curse is not to curse you. I pray that when you become trees, somehow or another, Krishna will deliver you. Now, at the time, please remember this, at the time when he was cursing them, he had no clue Krishna will perform this Leela hundreds and thousands of years later. But he only had one prayer to Krishna. Krishna, they're going to become trees, please deliver them. How is that going to work out? We have no idea. What are the chances, mathematical, of these two boys becoming trees and one day Krishna passing by and saying, I deliver you? It's not going to happen. But he prayed. And because he prayed, these two boys became trees in Vrindavan. And later on, when Nanda Maharaj built a house, he built a house in the compound where the two trees were. And in Mother Yashoda's house, Krishna came. He was not born there, he was born in Mathura. But by his arrangement, he came to Vrindavan, he entered into the garden, and in the garden were the two Yamal Arjuna trees. See the arrangement of the Lord. If the Lord wants to save you, no one can hurt you. And if you are going to be hurt and you are not going to be saved by the Lord, no one can serve you. No one can save you. The demons think they can always be above Krishna, but they cannot because they are not surrendered to Krishna. So this is how powerful Krishna is. And so Krishna told them that, my dear boys, I am bound by the love that Narada has for you and for me. And because he prayed to deliver you, I am now bound by his prayer, and I will keep his promise, and I will deliver you. This is the power of devotees. They are so powerful, they hold Krishna. One time in Dwarka, Satyabhama, on Tuesdays, today is Tuesday, right? On Tuesdays in Dwarka, Satyabhama would call anybody to her palace and give out any charity. One day Narada Muni came and he said, today is Tuesday, anything I ask you can give. And she said, anything you want, I will give. And he said, give me that which is most valuable to you. So Satyabhama said, oh, I have a lot of valuables. You should see my jewelry collection. Very good. So she went to get all the jewelry. And then Narada Muni said, you mean this is the most valuable thing in your life? And suddenly it struck Satyabhama, oh Krishna, this is not the most valuable thing in my life. The most valuable thing in my life is Krishna. So what do I do with Krishna? I can't give away Krishna. And now she panicked. She said, Narada, this is what I'll do. I'll put Krishna on a scale. And according to his weight, I'll give you all the gold equivalent to him. You take the gold, that's as good as Krishna. We are done. Very smart actually. Innovative. So Narada said, it's up to you. So quickly she called for Krishna. Krishna's relationship with Satyabhama was a bit different. He's a very hand-packed husband with Satyabhama. Satyabhama says sit, Krishna will sit. Satyabhama says stand, Krishna will stand. I don't know how many of you have hand-packed husbands, but I leave it to you. Right? The husbands know. So then what happened was, Krishna came very obediently and she put a big scale and she said, Krishna, sit on this scale, this side. So Krishna very obediently sat down because he's bound by love of his devotees. So he sat down the scale. Now she told her servants, bring out everything I have and put it on the other scale just to be sure. After everything had been put there, not an inch of where Krishna sat had even moved from the ground. Nothing. Satyabhama was in deep trouble because Narada was just waiting and thinking, okay, now it's time to pick Krishna, let me go. And now she called for Rukmini, her sister, right? The chief queen. And she said, Rukmini, please, you have to help me. It's in your interest because if I lose Krishna, all of you lose Krishna. So Rukmini thought, what a foolish girl Satyabhama you are. You think Krishna is equivalent the weight of all these material items? He's not. And she said, I have the perfect solution. Narada, please wait. She went into the garden and there beautiful Tulsi Maharani was growing. She prayed very hard to Tulsi, who is the most cherished devotee in Vrindavan, to the Lord. She plucked one leaf of Tulsi Maharani. She inscribed the name of Krishna. She took that leaf and she put it on the other side of the scale. And Krishna went all the way up and Tulsi Maharani went all the way down. And she took that little bit of Tulsi and gave it to Narada and said, Narada ji, this is the most valuable thing that I have. And Narada was so happy because he said, this is even more valuable than even the Lord. Because the devotee is more valuable in our spiritual life than even Krishna. That's why today we exalt Narada, we exalt Mother Yashoda, we exalt the Vanaras because they all bound Krishna by the ropes of their devotional service. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudev ki, Jai Gaura Premanande. You can listen to this Leela so many times and still it's always fresh. There's always a slight twist to it. There's always something fresh to learn. Why? Because Krishna is Nava Yauvanam Cha. He is eternally fresh. Have you seen pictures of Krishna? Prabhus and Matajis, have you seen him, grey hair? Have you seen any temples where Krishna is balding? Or Krishna is smiling but no teeth is there? You won't find it. Because Krishna never ages. He never ages. So today we are going to now light the lamps. Mataji, you can bring the lamps out. They are there. Okay, we are going to chant this beautiful prayer that we just heard. Damodar Ashtakam. I have copies. Some copies are here. If you have your phone, you can always get in. If you can read and you can see it, then please come and read it. And as you chant, as you read, my suggestion is we do it simultaneously to save time. So what we'll do is, I think you can get yourselves organized. Achaman, someone can get ready to do Achaman. Everyone comes forward. Okay, Madhvi is our Achaman keeper. Madhvi, you know the drill, right? Very simple. You get there, you stand there. Everyone create some space here. Okay? And please chant this beautiful shloka of these ashtakams.
Now I light all the lamps.
Huh?
I light all the lamps.
You light all the lamps as in? No, we want the ghee lamps. The ghee lamps have to be. No, they must. You light each and give it to them. Yeah. Pamaradhika Mataji? You can assist her. Right? Then each lamp is lighted, given to each person, and you can come forward. Jai Shri Shri Damodar Ashtakam ki. Namami Shwaram Satchidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. You can move the video. Yeah, then you have more space. Yashoda Biyolu Kaladhava Mahanam Haram Rishtaha Madhyam Tato Dhrutya Gopya Hari Hari. Rudantam muhurnetra yugmam rijantam karamboja yugme nasatam kanetram. Muhu swasakhampa trirekha kakanta stita graivam damodaram bhakti bhadam. Jai Yashoda Mata ki. Iti drikswalilabi ananda kunde swagosham nimajan tamakyapayantam. Hari Hari. Padiyeshitanyeshu bhaktai jitadvam puna prematastam satavritti vande. Varam deva moksham naha mokshavadim va nachanyam vrineham varisharapiha. Idam teva purnata gopala balam sada me manasya virastam kimanye. Jai Bala Gopal ki. Idam te mukhambojam atyanta nile vritam kuntalaisne darataischa gopya. Muhuschumbitam bimbaratadaram me manasya virasta alam lakshalabhe. Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodho Kajalabdi Magnam. Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batanu Grahane Shamama Nyamedakshi Dashaya. Jai Vrindavan Dham ki. Kuveratmajau Badaha Murtyaiva Yadvan Tvaya Mochitau Bhakti Bhajau Kritau Cha. Hari Bol. Tatha prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha namokshe graho me Namaste Damodareha. Prema Bhakti. Namaste Studhamne Spuradipti Dhamne Tvadiyodaraya Tavishwasya Dhamne. Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya. Namo Nantalila Yadevaya Tubhyam. Srimati Radharani ki. Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya. Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhya. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Jaya Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara. Jai Damodar ji ki. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jai Giri Govardhan ki. Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की, यशोदा दामोदर जी की, जय श्री वृंदावन भूमि धाम की, जय श्री श्री गोपाष्टमी महो महोत्सव की, जय श्री कार्तिक मास की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर जी की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being together. How nice this sadhu sangha is. And now the house is brighter because the lights are on.
With your voice in it.
Very nice. Thank you very much,
Sangha.
all of you who have come. Some of you, I may have seen you for the first